Hello, everybody. This is Guy from My Real Estate Advisor, and this is just a quick update and training video about AI and using automated marketing services for reaching out to your database. So, as a rule now, what we've advised with most people joining the industry and the company and so on, whether they're in finance or real estate or a buyer's agent, is that each person should have their own database. Now, we use a telecommunications company to buy the data from, and then we make sure that the data is compliant. So, what we do is we make sure the demographics are correct. So, usually that involves we basically get data from people that are homeowners between a certain age and a certain income bracket, and that's the people that we're looking for. Okay, so once that database has been purchased and loaded onto the CRM system, you should also have a copy of the database in an Excel spreadsheet yourselves, which you can then use on your own database, on your own CRM system, or do whatever you want to do with it. My advice with that is the following. So with the AI phone calls, we can do either 1,000 calls a month, 100 calls a day, whatever you prefer, and in whatever time frame you want to do. The cost is always going to be the same sort of cost. It isn't going to go up, depending on the volume you want to do. Now, my advice with the process would be, if you're not currently using something like MailChimp to contact people via email, then I suggest you set up an account with MailChimp and you load your database onto that. Now, typically, if you go over a certain number, then it'll cost X amount of money per month. And MailChimp can also do text messages. So those are the three areas that you need to focus on with your database. So your three areas are AI phone call, which is just a cold call, introducing who you are, what you do, and is there any interest in that particular service, whatever that service may be. The next stage is a text message. This is the service I'm offering. Here's a link to my website. The next service is an email. This is who I am. And my advice with that email is to put a video link in there where you have a discussion with somebody about your business and who you are and what you do, like a podcast, for example. So once you've done those three things, it's rinse and repeat. It's follow-up phone call, email, text message, until you get a yes or a no finally from that data. You need to have contacted all those 10,000 people that you've bought over the next 12 months, one way or another. It's either a phone call, email, or text message, or all of the above, and you've done it twice at minimum. Once you've done that, you should have an understanding then of who's looking to buy and sell this year, who's looking for refinance, who's looking for new finance, who wants to unsubscribe, who isn't interested, and so on and so on. And what we want to cut it right down to is the people that are interested, and then we want the conversion rate on that as well. And that's where the follow-up comes through. So we're looking at other automations and different things that we can do with the CRM system to help improve your conversion rates and everything else. But the fundamental thing is the phone call, the email, and the text message. Once you've got those three things running automated as much as possible, then you can get through that database and you can find out who's interested and who isn't. And if we come back with, there's only 330 people interested out of the whole thing, or 300 people, that's still 300 people that are worth a lot of money to each individual person, between $3,000 and $6,000 for the real estate agent, for the finance broker, and for the real estate agents, possibly between $15,000 and $45,000 worth of commission if they sell their property or sell them a investment property. So that's a decent number, but it's got to be worked through. It's got to be done religiously. It's got to be automated because you personally can't sit there and make hundreds of phone calls and send thousands of text messages and emails and all that kind of thing in a month. You can't do that. You're physically not able to do it. But the technology exists now to do it. So if you're not sure how to do it, you're not sure how to use MailChimp, you're not sure how to send text messages out using that facility or something similar to that, then you need to let us know, and then we'll see if we can do it for you. Now I can get a VA to help you. We can employ more VAs to help you if that's what you would like us to do. But ultimately, you've got to speculate to accumulate. We can't do these services free of charge. We can't cover the call costs for you and all the text messaging and the emails and all this other stuff. At the moment, I'm doing it just above cost, really, to be fair. So my advice is you say, I've got a marketing budget. I can afford, let's say, for example, $500 a month is your limit. That's all you can afford. But for that, how many people are being contacted every month? Are you doing some of that work yourself? Are you outsourcing it to a VA to do it? But it needs to be done. It's got to be done. If it's not done, then you're not going to make any money. So that's my advice moving forward. Get the database. Start having the AI phone calls to get through the database for you so you don't have to do that. Text messages and emails, everything out over a period of time. So you're compliant with everything and you're also not getting too many unsubscribes. It's got to be below 30% unsubscribe rate. Do all that and you do it over 12 months and you're consistent, you should have a result at the end of the day where you've got a couple of hundred clients off the back of it lined up, where you can make some decent money out of it and everything else. It's only the consistency that works. That's the only thing that does work. I know personally, I've worked in sales and marketing for 20 odd years. I've done this for multiple businesses in different parts of the world, and it always comes down back to being consistent, calling people back, sending them the information, sending a text message if you can't reach them, and coming back to them and doing it within a decent time frame. You can't send somebody a text message and then come back to them in 6 months' time. They won't know who you are anymore. So this has got to be a constant flow of contact. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Okay, so that's what I want to do moving forwards with everybody. And it might be that the database that you've got is not fantastic. But in my opinion, there is no such thing as a bad database. It's just bad salespeople. There's no such thing as a bad lead. It's just you're not very good at closing a deal. It's as simple as that. Sometimes you can't get hold of people. Sometimes it goes to voicemail. Sometimes they ignore your email. They ignore your text message. It is what it is. But it's the consistency and the volume that will overcome that problem. So you have to be that. You have to keep going and you have to keeping in touch with people. But now we're in a different time period where technology is changing, AI is getting better and better. The conversations that the AI can have will get better and better and everything else till people can't tell the difference between the speaking to a person and the machine. And the less work that you spend doing basic admin stuff, the better it is. The more automated you can make all this stuff, the better it is. The better you can't keep track of what you've done, the better it is. That's why we say update the CRM system, change the status, put down what's happened, so we can keep track of it and you can keep track of it. That's the whole point. So I hope this video has been useful information. As I say, I don't really make these training videos for the sake of it. I'm trying to get across that this is very important, that this is the only real way that you're going to make some serious money. If you have to be consistent and you have to contact all your database. Now, if you're not happy with that database, because it's not an expensive database, and you have contacted it all and you haven't got much business out of it, or worst case scenario, you've got nothing out of it, then you have to do your own research and go out and buy your own database. Now that might cost you $2,000 or $3,000 or whatever it is, but ultimately the same process is still going to apply with any database. You're still going to have to do that outreach. You're still going to have to automate some of that work because you're not going to be able to do it all yourself because you're doing your other job, which is either being a finance broker a real estate agent, or a buyer's agent. So you can't be just on the phone all the time prospecting. It's not possible. You've got to run your other business, which is, which is your main thing that you actually do for a living. So that's my advice. I hope you can absorb that and hear what I'm saying. I'm not having a go at anybody in particular. I'm not saying that anybody's doing anything wrong. I'm just explaining the process. That is how it works. It's as simple as that. And I've done all sorts of work. I've sold insurance, mortgages, mobile phones, you name it, I've sold it. Cars, houses, everything. Business to business services, IT. I've done a bit of everything. That's why I'm so diverse at doing what I'm doing. That's why I can build a website myself. That's why I learned how to do AI myself, because I've trained in multiple fields over years and years, and I've worked in different industries in different parts of the world. That's why I have this varied background. This is why I'm able to do these things and explain this to you, because I've done it from scratch. I've been a business development manager for multiple companies over the years, and they've given me a brief. This is our service. This is what we do. How do you think we can get some new clients, Guy? What should I do? And I always sit down and come up with a solution. What is it you're selling? What is it you're trying to do? Who are you trying to target? How are you communicating with them? What have you got to offer that's better than the bloke down the road, basically? How can we contact as many people as possible to get this over the line? Who are the right people to speak to? And that's it. I've done that with this business. Gone out, got 165 different builders across the country. I've got a list of 10,000 builders that we can approach directly. I've got a list of 14,000 buyers agents. I'm getting a list of 80,000 real estate agents. I shall go out and get a list of thousands of mortgage brokers. I shall automate all this stuff, my own business, and build it up. So I'm doing it for myself. And if it didn't work, I wouldn't do it. And that's why I'm explaining to you that you need to do it. Because if you don't do it, you're not going to be successful. And yes, it's going to cost some money to make money, but that's just the way things are. If you haven't got the database, you're not doing the outreach, you're not putting that effort in with the people, then you're not going to make the money. So yeah. All right. Well, I hope this has been useful for you. I hope you've got a better understanding of how the AI system works with in tangent with phone calls and emails and text messages and that kind of thing. If you're not sure about it and you want help, then you just need to reach out to me and let me know. I shall make sure that I will put you in touch with a VA to help you that's been trained on how to do this sort of work, and we'll crack on and do the AI phone calls again. If you want a certain script, if you want to test things out, you want to change the voice, you want to do anything like that, you want to clone your own voice, you want to pretend you've got a PA or whatever it is you want to do, we can do all that. We just need the brief first so we can turn it into a reality. So yeah, so I hope this has been useful for you. And as I say, that's the process. Have it written in stone. It's a phone call, an email, and a text message, and it's repeat until you've got a yes or a no from that person, or I'm not interested, unsubscribe, whatever the thing is. But that's all you've got to do. Once you've done that, out of that 10,000 list, you should have a decent number back where they're actually prepared to do some sort of business with you, which should translate into some proper money. We'll increase the advertising and marketing that we're doing throughout the country anyway with all the different builders. Part of my job is to ongoingly sign new builders up to get new stock in different locations anyway. So that's just an ongoing process. So yeah, any questions, give me a call or send me an email. You've got my details. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of explain that to you that's got to be the process. And if you're not too sure about it, then you can reach out to me and I can give you a bit of advice on how to do it. Okay, I'll speak to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your time this week if you're watching it this week or the weekend or whatever. And yeah, we'll crack on and we'll try and get this as automated as possible and get as much support as possible. Thanks again for your time. Appreciate it.